Hello and welcome to another episode of MoFIT Talks, episode number 15. And today we're going to talk about diet made simpler. So most often time when we come to a new year, new me, we want to try to find a diet, or we found the internet, or we hear from someone say, or we didn't do a diet on our own. But there's so many confusing informations all around the internet. You just couldn't know which is the right one. So this episode I'm going to share what is a little bit easier for you, so that you can have a clear idea of what's understanding, and who knows, you can even have a more defined or more refined diet plan that you're about to go to. Alright, so let's get into it. So when it comes to use fat loss for example, because most people when it's fat loss they think of the diet, so how to make the diet easier. Now first of all, you have to understand every diet you find on the internet works. Alright, whether it's clean eating, tracking your macros, or ketogenic, vegetarian, or whatever that you want to name it. Alright, so those examples, everything works as long as you can do it. And number two, most important, is you have to understand that everything works when the calorie is on a deficit. That means you are reducing your calories. You're reducing your calories, then any diet basically works. Okay, but so you might be thinking, then I might as well just follow any other diet. Yes, you're right, but can you sustain it? If you cannot, you need to rethink your plan. So there are some other options that share with you later, and you see whether if those options work for you or not. So to make a healthier option, so to speak, right? So the first thing you want to do is, when you have your food, make sure the options are a little bit cleaner or a little bit less refined. So I'm going to give you an example. Instead of having a burger, having a sandwich, that will save you a lot of calories. Remember I told you, calories, fat loss. Okay, so reduce as much calories as you can. So have a bit of finer choices. So instead of having a like a regular Coke, have a Coke, Diet Coke or Coke Zero. That will save a lot of calories. Instead of having a milk tea, have a tea. You see where I'm going? So have some of this easy option first. Most people when they come to the gym, they will diet down, they do a drastic thing, they will cut off a certain food group, or even worse, they will avoid those food. Let's be honest. As we live on to our lives, there will be a day where we will be meeting all those food. For example, this person wants to cut down carbs. Okay, so for example, she decided to avoid rice, right? And I tell you, eventually there will be an event, or she went to a store and the rice will appear, right? So humans being humans, we end up eating the rice. So we will eat the rice, then we will say we feel so bad, and then we feel so bad, feel so guilty, we thought that our diet is ruined. No, it doesn't have to be that way. The real option is, you just have to do is make healthier options. So for example, don't cut out those food groups, have those food groups, just that you have a final option. So instead of fried rice, maybe going for something like a sushi. Okay, so these are some examples, so to speak. Second point you want to think about it is also to have a routine. So just now you have those final choices. Once you learn how to have those final choices, ask yourself, can you do it in the long run? Can you repeat those food at least 2 to 3 times a week? Then try to bump up to 4, make it a 5. And once you have that, try to have your menu, so to speak, like a cycle. That means maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, eating particular food. You try to change it on the following week. Maybe instead of Monday's food, you have it on a Wednesday. And Wednesday's food, you have it on Monday. You change here and there. I can show you those. If you just change those combination a little bit here and there, it's going to make a lot of difference. Because remember, we want to say consistency. So if you're more consistent you are, you're going to see a better results. So you want to make sure whatever food that you pick, make sure it is a healthy choices, which is just now we just shared. And the second one is the food that we have, make it a routine. So if you want to make it a routine, make sure that it's those food that you kind of enjoy, and it's not like just food you just think like example, typically very clean, or it's just you find it very hard or very bland. You can add some food, add some spices, add some sauce, no problem. Just don't overdo it, and make sure you do it over time, have consistent. That is how you get to your goal, because consistency at the end is the one that brings best results. So I'm going to use myself for example. For my breakfast, I'm going to have eggs, baked beans, and vegetables. Alright, and as for my lunch, I'm going to have a little bit like a like bread with some tuna cans. That's what I have, and a little bit of veggie on the side. And on my dinner, usually I'll have like a roasted chicken and some mixed veggie. So you can see my foods are very typical and clean. And for snacks, sometimes I have milk and cereals, or it's just some fruits or with my whey protein. So you can see the food choices that I have is quite plain. It's not brown rice, broccoli, and tilapia every single time, or it's not like sweet potato, asparagus, and salmon, all those type, which is by the way very expensive in the region over here. So wouldn't recommend everyone. Is like a must follow thing. So remember, every diet works as long as you reduce your calorie, and always remember there is no magic food. So what you can do is whatever choices or whatever food they're eating right now, ask yourself, can you make it a better option? Can you have a lesser calorie option? Can you take away lesser of the sauce? Or can you have a better option? Less fried, or like a less processed, refined food. Has a whole food, as a whole chicken instead of minced chicken. Have like a real legit dairy instead of having soft drinks. So just for examples. So have some trade-offs, see what sticks for you, and keep going and doing it consistently. It's okay to play around with all this food. Just make sure that you like the food and you can see yourself doing it for the next 1 or 2 years, or let's just try for 3 months and then another 3, and so on and so forth. Right? So remember, diet, yes, I will admit, it's not easy. It is, but doesn't have to be complicated. Alright? So most important, you find what you can, stick to it, and see how it rolls. Alright? As long as you're on a caloric deficit, you should be able to lose fat. Right? So that's all for me today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop the questions on below, and who knows, we'll chat next time. So till then, stay strong, stay MoFIT. Peace.